The family plex is basically as I remember it, just with less sexual assault this time, unless...
Well, there's less people, so automatically less sexual assault.
I meant Leo.
Oh, I just meant in general. Sorry, that's a dark thing to say, but...
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Like TJ had said, a good decade had passed since we'd been here, maybe more. But the ugly, stained carpet and sickly colored walls still covered the place, a real relic of the 80s and 90s. 90s kids will remember! Still, I'm happy to see TJ's smile as we walk in, his adorably wide eyes scanning the place as I'm sure he's hit with the same sense of nostalgia. Oh my gosh, everything is exactly the same.
That's the problem.
The look on Julian's face is slightly less enthusiastic.
Even smells the same.
I kind of like it, actually. Reminds me of a movie theater. Same.
It's really just the popcorn and recycled air from the AC.
I realized then what a fucking stick in the mud Julian is, but I ignore him, instead following TJ as we make our way to the machines. Luckily, the place is mostly empty. There's a group of teenagers being loud and annoying over by the air hockey tables, but otherwise we have the place to ourselves. For a moment we just stand there, but then Julian reaches into his pocket.
You guys want to chip in some money and I can go get us a few rolls of quarters?
I take out a 5, and so does Julian, while TJ hands over a 10.
Wow, Tej, that's a lot.
I only have 10s. Besides, we'll go through them fast. We always do.
What, at these, like, 3 machines?
Yeah. I guess just off camera, there's a good arcade. Totally.
Why can't you take a picture of that?
Julian walks off to the front counter, while TJ and I wait awkwardly next to the skee-ball ramp. Yes, there's more somewhere. Unless that's a skee-ball ramp on the far left of the machines?
No.
I can't tell what that is. There's something long.
What are you talking about? The yellow thing?
Yeah, like there's a yellow claw machine, and then to the left of that is something flatter and longer. I can't tell what that is.
You would never be able to throw a ball down a lane. Like, the lane would have to be so far out, sticking out from the wall. A skee ball, you need like 10 feet
Yeah,
out.
I can't tell what that is though, can you?
It's just like a cabinet.
It sticks out so weirdly long.
Not really.
It sticks out like twice as far as the claw machine does.
It could be a shooting one.
The one that's like orangey. It feels like things wouldn't be so tense if Julian wasn't here.
Or, yeah.
It's just you. You're the one who's tense.
Yeah, Chase.
You're the one that's freaking out about Julian's presence this entire time and not cluing into your own behavior. And I feel myself getting progressively annoyed by his presence. I'm about to ask TJ how he's feeling when Julian comes back with 2 rolls of quarters.
So, I just want to say really quick, that machine back there doesn't stick out as far as a pinball machine does, but I think it's one of those ones where you look down and it has a glass cover. It has a display screen and a glass cover. It might be one of those things where you shoot the quarter and then you want the quarters to push the other quarters down, or something like one of those games where you have a long glass panel that you look down at and there's something down there.
And I think I'm remembering some kind of like skill challenge thing where you have like a platform that you like super monkey ball tilt and you're trying to like make a ball make it down.
Yeah, but I know there's a mountain one, but that's vertical, and then you're doing it like this. Like I've seen those at Round Table Pizzas. But anyway, sorry, it's probably gonna bug me for the rest of my life.
Literally.
Somebody find that exact picture and tell me what that is. Just kidding. This isn't that corner of the internet of obsessive people. And I'll forget tomorrow. I'll forget tomorrow anyway. It's okay, guys. Don't worry about it. So we have 2 rolls. You want me to count out your shares, or?
I shake my head. Doesn't matter. Yeah, we're just here to hang out anyway. EJ takes one of the rolls and tears off one end. You guys want a skee ball?
Sure. I've always been pretty good with this game.
I take the open roll of quarters from TJ and take out one of my own, inserting it into the neighboring skee ball machine. There are only 2, and I kind of hope that Julian might just wander away, but he stays right there behind TJ watching.
Chase, you're not gonna get him to go away. Just deal with it.
He just is literally calculating motions to just exclude Julian at every turn, hoping he'll get bored and wander off. He hates Julian more than almost any characters that hated anyone. Except for all of the friendship ending that's happened 5 minutes ago. It's
just funny because every other OC character has like no one hated like Kudzu, or like, I mean, Micah's a little shit, but like nobody like hated him, you know. And it's like this poor guy, the characters are ragging on him.
I sigh and insert my coin, watching as the little balls roll out onto the little compartment. Meanwhile, TJ is having a terrible time, each one of his balls rolling into the scoreless gutter. I roll my first ball and watch as it misses the 40 and rolls into the 10 gutter.
Don't worry about it, Teach. Want me to show you how?
You left it open, buddy. You left it open.
Dude, he picks up the ball and he walks over it and does an asshole thing where you just put it in the hole yourself.
Look how good I am at this game. It's so easy.
Yeah, nobody's thought of doing it like this, but this is like how you win.
I've min-maxed skee ball.
Yeah, I'm speedrunning it.
Julian moves next to me and I grit my teeth in annoyance, moving over a bit. The stag flicks the ball expertly down the ramp and lands squarely in the 40.
I don't believe it. Nobody's good at skee ball.
Wow, on your first try, too. I mean, people are boring enough.
He does be really boring.
He's a skee ball wizard.
Pinball is much cooler than skee ball. It's actually gonna be a pinball convention in our area soon. I think I'm gonna go because pinball is fun. They have like a bunch of like.
I can better accept a blind kid learning how to play skee ball than pinball, though.
Well, I mean, it's not. Keith, it's not real.
Oh my god,
it's not real. I hate to tell you.
Songs are fiction. What?
No, little kid me actually thought that was real. I thought it was about a real kid. I thought
he's just so cool that the Who wrote a song about him.
I mean, wouldn't you if there was a blind kid who was playing pinball? There's a blind magician who does card tricks and his cards aren't marked or anything, and he knows how to do the card tricks even though he's blind. That's fucking crazy. People can do anything. Anyways, honestly, I'm out of practice, but usually I go for the hundreds in the corner.
How do you do it?
Well,
Julian grabs a hold of TJ's wrists, and I feel my fur start to stand up on my neck and shoulders.
It's all in the wrist. Is it now? Is it all on the wrist? Yeah. What else is all in the wrist, huh?
Your family plex declaration is backfiring, Chase. You caused this. We could have been seeing a movie where they just hugged the whole time because they liked each other more.
Where they just hold hands in the popcorn bucket.
Yep. He moves TJ's arm forward before bending to Lynx's wrist. Oh, I see. TJ tries again, and this time gets the 10. But on a second try, he lands it in the 50.
Nice.
Julian holds up his paw, and then TJ slaps it loudly. The stag laughs, then looks over at me.
You alright, Chase? You still got 4 balls.
Without a word, I turn back to my machine and huck the balls down the ramp, each one landing in the gutter. He's just throwing a fucking tantrum now.
He's gonna break the pinball machine.
Chase is such a fucking baby. Meanwhile, I listen to Julian and TJ celebrating their 50. For the rest of the night, I follow TJ and Julian around, the stag showing the cat how best to play the games. All the while, I stand next to them, dumping my quarters into games I don't even finish. Have you considered stuff like having conversations and other human interactions, Chase?
Or just, if you're really having that hard of a time, just go play a game, like, across the room.
I just want us to run out so we can leave.
What a baby.
He's just throwing all of the coins away. He's trying to, sneakily, waste them all on every machine as they walk by. Jesus Christ. The drive back is quiet and tense. We have to be Chase for another route. God damn it. TJ and Julian asked me multiple times at the family plex if I was alright, until I finally told them I just had a headache. That stopped their questioning for the most part, and luckily that prompted TJ to propose we just go back to the motel. I tense up again when he offers Julian to spend the night there, but luckily the stag declines, wanting to go back home to his own bed. As we drive, I notice TJ nodding off, his head bumping the glass of his window. You can lean against me, Tej. TJ's ears flick, flushing a bit. Oh, really? I mean, I don't wanna... As an answer, I reach over and clasp the side of TJ's face before I force the lynx's head to lean sideways against my shoulder.
Oh my gosh, I would punch someone. It's like, you know, you're like, oh, thank you, that's nice, but I'm okay. But like, no, like somebody just grabs your face and makes you do that. Oh my gosh, I'd be so mad.
TJ stiffens up, but then he relaxes. And 5 minutes later, I can tell that he's fallen into a light sleep. Julian glances over at us occasionally, but doesn't say anything. I lean my cheek against the top of TJ's head. I realize how good it feels to sort of envelop him like this. It feels like I'm protecting him. All those bad, tense feelings from the arcade start to melt away. Pretty soon I start to drift off as well, the smooth drone of the highway lulling me to sleep. I open my eyes and see the back of a rusty white sedan pulled off on the side of the road. Julian's pulling off as well, behind the car. The sun's already getting low in the sky, a little bit of cloud cover rolling in from the west. That's when I realize there's a large coyote standing next to the car, leaning over and looking at the front left wheel.
For a split second, I forgot this was a furry visual novel, and I just thought they were saying there was a large coyote next to the car, and I was picturing like a four-legged animal.
Just very curious about a car.
Just, you know, by the car.
She stands up with her headlight when our headlights hit her, and she shields her eyes against the light.
Is it Janice? Yep.
Janice. Julian shuts his headlights off.
Looks like she's got a flat.
TJ wakes up, and I'm a bit disappointed to feel him shift off my shoulder. What's going on? Julian's already hopping out of the car, walking up to the now grinning Janice as she sets her paws on her hips.
Well, now what are you doing out here, Julie?
Are you ready to become meat?
Are you ready to help me out and do a bunch of chores and do a bunch of stuff I'm asking you to do? Can you fix my car? Can you carry me back to town?
I can hear her loud, obnoxious voice, even with the doors closed.
See, he's mean about everything in this route.
Yeah, no, Chase is getting really awful. Janice has a flat. Want to go back to sleep until Julian's helped her?
No, she's just going to be like, no, I have to help her.
Yeah, obviously TJ wants to help. TJ shakes his head, shifting himself to open the door and hop out. I sigh as he leaves, pushing myself across the seat to jump out as well.
Chase and Tobias, too?
She turns her psychotic grin on us.
Yeah, we're having a night out. Anyway, do you need any help? Well, you know, Julian, I actually do. I don't have my own jack. Been missing for the past 15 years. Why, you haven't needed it in 15 years and you're driving on roads like this?
15 years.
Oh. Oh no!
I think I know what happened 15 years ago.
She like doesn't own a jack. She doesn't want to have to think about it. I wouldn't drive a car probably ever again.
I mean, that's a bad day. It's a bad day. Julian smiles back warmly. That cunt. Just fucking Chase narration every second.
How dare he smile?
This bitch drinking tea.
Well, I've got one. Do you have a spare? Yep, in the back. Hopefully it's not flat too. Haven't had to use that thing in a while. Well, go ahead and pop the trunk and we'll see what we've got. I'll go get my jack.
Julian jogs back to the truck while TJ and I stand behind Janice's car. We were waiting for Janice to get reincorporated in some way, because it felt like she came up enough that there must be some kind of conclusion to her being here. But sadly, that's when the old coyote turns her attention on us.
Well, how are you two doing this evening?
I'm doing well, thanks. Just irreversibly damaged all of my relationships. Hee hee. Ooh woo.
I want to thank you again for doing all that yard work during your vacation. Seems like I'm always out here just needing help.
Oh, it was no trouble at all, ma'am. I'm happy to let TJ do the talking. Just wanted to get this all over with as soon as possible so we can head back to the motel. I squint as Julian's headlights come back on, and he hops out of his truck.
Just want to give us a little more light.
Janice pops the trunk and lifts it up, revealing a cluttered mess inside. She brushes it all aside and lifts up the flap, revealing an old, rusty spare tire. She nudges at it, testing the air pressure before lifting it out.
Well, it's a little deflated, but it should be enough for me to get to Duke's house. I know he's got a few tires I could probably use. If not, I'll just get him to drive out and buy me one.
At this point of the week, I'm sure Duke is up to very normal behaviors.
Yeah, and not like hanging out with Brian or like...
It's Saturday, isn't it? Like it's late.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's actually eerie how nothing's happened.
It is kind of scaring me.
Like, what is happening off camera? What's going on? Because I think this is the part of the week where shit's happening, and we just haven't noticed because we're like, let's go to the lake, let's go to Peyton. We haven't heard a single gunshot yet.
Yeah, it is. It's like I said, it's a little eerie. Like, it's kind of, I feel like something bad's on the horizon, but who knows?
Julian kneels down next to Janice's car, setting up the jack. We stand there in silence for a bit, watching the stag as he works.
Speaking of your vacation, it wasn't really a vacation for you, was it, Chase?
My heart sinks a bit as the dumb yote turns her attention directly at me.
God, he's so mean.
Yep. I grunt politely in question, keeping my gaze on Julian to show Janice that I'm definitely not interested in what she has to say.
Fucking rude.
Oh my gosh, she's just asking questions.
Well, that grumpy lizard Flynn was telling me about it in the diner a few days back. Something about you wanting to document the spooky stuff in town.
I try to think of a way to keep things uninteresting so she doesn't ask any more questions. Sort of. Mainly, I just wanted to find some information on a murder that happened like 100 years ago. Couldn't find much out.
She's like, oh, well, do you want to see a place where there's a body buried that I know about? Because, you know, I did a thing like 15 years ago. Like,
and you were there?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Janice probably has just some spooky stories of her own. Oh, Flynn made it sound more like one of those ghost documentaries I like to watch sometimes. I had a few stories for you. See, oh yeah, I knew it. She knew she'd have some fucked up stuff to talk about.
I keep my eyes firmly on Julian's paws as he starts to crank the jack. He's cranking it. Then TJ nudges me. Hey, are there any rules against it being a ghost documentary? I sigh, though I try to keep it quiet for TJ's sake. Well, it's more of a news piece, so a ghost story wouldn't really work, I don't think. Actually, I've seen segments on the news about ghosts. I don't know if they're serious, but when someone catches something on camera, sometimes they'll play it.
It's more, I mean, you can argue. I think what they want you to present in a project like Chase's is like you documenting like testimonials and facts and just finding evidence for things. And you arguably, as much as like I definitely don't believe in ghosts, you could arguably like interview people, and even if you don't have a like horse in the race as far as like you believing in it, you can document that people believe it in this town. You know, you can spin it to be a documentary about the people of Echo and their beliefs, like without you being involved.
The news is infamously not usually that hard most of the time. It's like, this Labrador's running for mayor.
It's like, oh, you know, horrible war and suffering and tragedy, but also this girl grew a really big watermelon this summer and she's very proud of it. Like, cool.
The new TikTok dance that has parents worried.
Is it flossing?
Is it flossing?
That's the only one I know.
Flossing is Fortnite, I think.
Wait, what do you TikTok dance? What you said?
Yeah.
I do not go on TikTok.
No.
I'm afraid of the internet, but boy, I am not going over there. TikTok seems like a swamp. Like, I don't want to go over there. Keep me out of that.
I shrug. Well, even if that is the case, it probably won't get me a very good grade. It's better than no grade at all.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah, he's aware of the fact that you're not doing your project at all right now, Chase.
But what if Chase is like, he's been failing so bad that he has to like literally get an A on this to even remotely pass the class?
Well, he's fucked.
Yeah, then he's definitely fucked.
TJ smiles encouragingly at me, and I can't help but smile back. He's always had a way of cheering me up, no matter how bad a mood I'm in.
That's the spirit. Besides, could just be about the history of it rather than making it seem real, even if it is real. See, Janice knows exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, Janice. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
I sigh again, though this time I don't try to cover it up. Janice either doesn't notice or doesn't care.
So would you like to hear them?
Yeah. Let me grab my notepad real quick. I can't keep my fucking yawns stopping.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's my fault because I'm yawning at you.
Well, it's also just whenever I read for a long time, if I don't quite, I don't know, like subconsciously have the right breathing habits, I just start yawning continually because I'm narrating. I'm like, fucking stop it.
Well, and we ate recently, so it's like,
Yeah.
like I'm full sleepy. You
It
know?
always hits me when I play CRPGs, where I just sit there and read continuously for like 3 hours, and it's like it gets so hard to not yawn constantly. It has nothing to do with the actual game.
Well, I like if I'm like overexerting myself, like exercise wise, I'll yawn, which is like not normal. It just means
Yeah.
I don't have good breathing techniques, which is very bad. I should definitely work on that. But I don't know. How do you work on that? I don't know.
Because you're not thinking about it.
Yeah,
That's the whole point.
and I don't want to have to think about it.
Yeah.
That makes my life scary.
Manual breathing. No, I do it. I enter into manual breathing mode during narration, or I'll sit there and specifically start inhaling before each sentence, just to like try to like get some kind of better rhythm to stop yawning. And that just pisses me off in its own way. I walk over to Julian's truck, listening to Janice as she babbles excitedly to TJ about how scary it is.
And the door handle had a hook on it.
Door had hook had door. I can never remember the fucking nightmare sentence that is.
Oh, the one from the States video?
The oh no, not that one, because that was the Grant, we told you not to look at it. Or whatever the fuck. The 50 State Nightmares by Neil Cicierega is incredible.
Oh my! But there's one that is like a long sentence. It's like scary thing that does the thing that and it like makes no sense.
There's a few nonsensical things. Yeah, there's one that's like a
Grandma told you not to look in the box or something.
Yeah.
Why'd you do it?
Why'd you do it? I love that video.
Abraham Lincoln's ghost.
So there's some kind of like creepypasta or whatever, or joke thing where it's like building up the idea that there's like a man with a hook and a raincoat or something, and he's like outside the car somewhere.
The hash slinging slasher.
It's like they go around like at some point I think they go around the car and you're expecting, and there seems to not be something there, but it's like, but then door hand hook car door, like it just fucking diminishes into noise. Like it's just
because it's making fun of the story that has that ending.
Like you expect a reveal to have there, but like you expected some kind of reveal to happen, but it's like so incoherently written that it's just to fuck with you.
Because you've heard that, you know that story, right? The hook hand door.
I know versions of that.
It's the same. Yeah, it's exactly what I said. Hook hand door thing.
No, So what made me lose my shit is we were in Las Vegas doing Omega Mart.
I love Omega Mart. I was so glad.
That was a wild trip just to experience, just in general.
I was so glad when I saw we were close to it. I was like, Keith, I want to go there.
Yeah. But I wasn't ready for, of all things, the like I had to quote the oven thing. Like right at the end, we were back in the normal market, and we walked by the freezer, the butcher aisle, the butcher counter, and behind that, one of the employees was like, "Why do they call it oven? When you oven the cold food and out hot eat the food."
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm like, what the fuck? He just the employee was quoting that as like gibberish or whatever to people, but it's like,
and some girl was trying to answer the question. And she just like, yes, and he was like, good, and he like handed her a pin.
He was just fucking with people and giving them riddles. Yeah, but the fact that he said that one specifically, I'm like, I say that for fun sometimes. Like, why is that coming up here? I don't understand. I don't know if it's the origin or not, but I just fucking love that one where somebody voice acted James from Silent Hill 2 saying that line, set to like footage from Silent Hill 2 of him singing the chair all sad and everything, and it's just surreal. And they even have like a dialogue option pop up where you click yes at the end, and it's just that for me, that's what that meme is. I have no idea if that's its origin or if it's just a redo of it, but that's what I think of all the time.
I do love me some memes. Internet's scary. Memes-ite sometimes.
So I can't wait for Janice's creepypasta stories about photorealistic eyes and stuff.
There's this thing called an SCP, and if you don't,
Squidward was crying blood.
It's crying blood, and I bought this Mario cartridge, but when I put it in, the game said
it wasn't Mario.
It wasn't Mario. You're looking all scary.
Mario was dead on the screen,
and then Sonic did this thing, and like
Sonic had an evil laugh. Fucking
creepypastas are so funny.
That's what I knew in Yick, Rory's voice actor. I knew him because it's Yuri of Wind, and what he would do is he would just read creepypastas just verbatim, and that was like half of his content. And it was just because they were so poorly written on average, like it was just nightmarish to sit through. Like they're just surreal, weird experiences of just horrible stories written badly.
That's why I love like when like Internet Historian or someone does like that. I'm reading fan fiction just verbatim, and it's just like hee. We all were kids once and we all wrote really bad. Like it's funny.
I try to unzip the bag, but the ledge of the truck bed is too tall, so I have to grab the whole fucking thing and trudge it back over to the car. I unzip the side pocket and pull out the notepad and pen. Then I stand up straight and look at Janice expectantly. The coyote sits on the ledge of the trunk, making the car shift. Julian pauses, eyes wide, as I'm sure he thought the sedan was about to topple off of the jack.
Yeah, Janice, you can't do that.
Yeah, Janice, we're in the middle of something. You can't sit on the vehicle.
Well, let's see. I can start with what my grandpa told me.
Yeah, that works.
Actually, that's great because this happened right here. This happened right here in these very woods.
Janice gestures off the side of the road at the trees.
So my grandpa was taking a walk in there with my grandma in, I want to say sometime in the 40s, right after they were married. They were walking along one of the little trails in there. And as they started hearing the strange sound in the trees, like something scuttling up and down the branches.
Oh, okay.
This might be relevant.
I have some context for this in Arches, is all I can say.
Oh no. They kept looking but couldn't see anything.
TJ hugs himself and rubs his arms with his paws. Wow. That's creepy.
And then she's like, that's it. Like, that's the story. Oh, that ain't the half of it, Tobias. The thing is, as they kept walking, those sounds followed them, and then...
Janice lowers her voice, and despite my annoyance, I have to draw in a bit closer to hear her next words.
They started to hear it talk.
Hear what talk? TJ is fully drawn in by Janice's theatrics, and I have to struggle not to roll my eyes.
Well, whatever it was, it started talking down to them.
Janice pauses, and then glances at me, and I make sure not to give her anything, staring glassy-eyed at my notepad. What did it say?
Well, just strange things like, you're here, and I see you. Though my grandpa said he wasn't even sure it was talking to them, really. He said that when it finished, it started to just laugh. That's when he and grandma started running. Even then, it followed them. He said it sounded like it was rising in the air and landing from tree to tree, following them until they got out.
At this point, TJ is just frowning, and I have to force myself to jot down the stupid notes.
TJ's like, I remember walking home from a dance once. You know, TJ's little backstory where he had a weird time in the wood next to the woods.
His nightmare experience. Well, what was it? Janice shrugs.
Don't know. Grandpa only told me the story once when he wouldn't go on a family walk in the forest. I asked him why, and he told me. Asked Grandma too, but she just pretended she couldn't hear me. Thing is, my grandpa's not a liar. That I can promise you.
I scribble in the notepad, pretending to write this all down. You fucker.
What a fucking dick. Oh, he also said it sounded mechanical. Kind of like it was coming through a machine or computer. That's weird, because they didn't really have those back then.
A moment of silence goes by as I wait for Janice to go on. When she doesn't, I look up. So, that's it?
Oh, yeah. Did you think they'd actually see something?
I shrug.
The ghost stories, they never actually see anything. In the ghost,
No.
That's not how ghost stories work, Chase.
Ooh. My mom had ghost stories where she saw stuff. And then she would just tell them over and over again, and I would be a little bit like Chase. I'd be a little bit like Chase.
Next time I see your mom and we're all in the car together, I'm gonna ask her,
all of her
and I'm gonna
stories?
make her get all those ghost stories in front of you and give you PTSD.
That's fine. I'll save them for her then. You can find out from her about the top hat man and the ghost animals on the freeway.
Oh,
There's just gonna be a mysteries now to the audience.
oh, you can. I mean, I just meant to annoy you, so you can tell the stories if you want. But I just meant I was gonna like.
She insists that like the ghosts of various dead animals that died on that freeway were all like running across the street and like distracting her to like wake her up when she was like on the verge of like passing out because she was like driving home late from her night shifts and stuff and passing out on the freeway while driving. And thinks the animals saved them. And also insists there was like a man in a top hat like standing over my crib when I was a baby. And stuff like that.
It was
so she saw ghosts according to her or whatever.
What the fuck? Top hat man is stalking you, Keith. Who's this top hat man?
Yeah. He's my Heather monster. Wait, that was Jenna's monster.
Yeah, Jenna has the monster. Top Hat Man doesn't sound as scary as Jenna's monster.
No, especially since he's never come up again.
Dude, I'm gonna keep an eye out for the Top Hat Man for you.
The Top Hat Man. The Top Hat Man.
So scary, a top hat. Oh no.
Anything else? Janice thinks.
Well, there's this bear up the road named Brian. One time he told me a story about seeing some aliens around here, UFOs and such. Brian's scarier than your ghost stories.
Yeah,
Janice.
but we also already know about this because it's his supposedly tragic backstory of being
fucking
like tortured by aliens that are also his mom or something.
Yeah, his story is really fucked up. That's a real bad story.
Like, distressingly, all of these things she's saying seem to connect to stuff that's real. So it's like Chase won't pay attention. He's like, yeah, Janice, okay, cool.
Yeah,
But it's like
she's like actually schooling you right now.
This time I can't stop my eyes from rolling. But again, Janice either doesn't see or ignores it.
Said back when he was a teenager, he saw a flying saucer as he was passing by the lake.
I don't even bother to move my pen. But Janice just keeps going.
Be nice. You know, I was listening to this podcast a while back. You know, those radio shows on the internet? You know, those radio shows?
Can you believe that he said that Julian was a stick in the mud?
Yeah, and here he is, like, being a... like...
Chase is just the actual worst. Stop.
There are a lot of situations in my life where I have to humor someone, but boy, I do it. Especially,
howdy.
Especially if it's a nice old lady. Like, I mean, Janice isn't that old, but like a nice, like, Janice seems like one of those people I would definitely just be like, oh yeah, like, like, oh, da-da-da-da.
Yeah. Because,
like, she's a happy person, and she's nice, generally, except when she makes too much work. And, she's just a lively spirit, so just, like, be fucking nice.
Why you like this, Chase? Oh, yeah. I love listening to those when I work out.
Well, there's this paranormal one I listened to that really goes in depth on this kind of stuff. And you know, we've all heard that story about the gold in the quartz deposit.
Yep.
Well, Janice
lowers her voice, leaning in, like she's discovered the best kept secret in the entire world.
I'm imagining her doing it. In the podcast, they were going on about how places with lots of quartz ends up being more haunted. You know why?
A haunted mine? An echo?
A haunted mine in general?
I don't say anything, so TJ chimes in. Why?
Well, the quartz captures stuff from the past, like really emotional, angry stuff, and sometimes, when things line up just right, they play it back. Only when they do, it's all twisted up and mixed with other stuff, makes what you see really awful and horrible looking. But you know?
Janice pauses again. What?
I think there's more to it than that. I think there's something with a conscious mind behind it all here in Echo.
I finally have to break in. Has anything happened to you specifically? You know, it's better if I have something straight from the source rather than secondhand.
He just like wants her to stop talking. So he's just like, do you have anything else? Like, I don't want to hear your other stories, lady.
Janice finally goes quiet then, eyes flicking down to look at the ground. Julian, meanwhile, has pulled off the tire and is fitting the spare in place.
Well, maybe. Oh, Janice.
There was this white cougar.
Yeah, Janice has a spookier story than all the ghost stories combined. Like, she has a very good scary story.
I grit my teeth. What do you mean? Janet lets out a soft, mirthless chuckle.
This is the second time they've used mirthless, and I really like it. I like the word mirth. I think it's underused now. And mirthless, I just like it.
People are not exploiting mirth to its full potential.
Like, it's like that person's like got a lot of mirth. It just makes me think of like someone kind of like sprightly, like elfish. I'm getting like fantasy imagery from this. Let's just say I've seen things I promise not to tell anyone about, Chase.
I can't tell if she's joking or not, so I just go along with it.
She's not joking.
Oh, you order a hit on someone?
I hit on someone.
She hit someone.
Maybe, Chase.
TJ stands there, a mortified expression on his face. I look down at my camera bag. Well, I think it might be good to get some footage of the trees in there while they're still a little light. If I'm gonna do the whole ghost story thing, then I better give it a horror movie vibe.
Oh, well that sounds wonderfully spooky.
I start towards the tree line, then look back at TJ. You wanna come with? Oh! TJ looks back at Janice and Julian, the latter of which is screwing in a tire.
Go on, TJ. Give him some company in there. Especially after I told you all that story.
Janice cackles, causing the car to shake again.
Besides, I don't mind keeping Julian company in the meantime.
Julian grunts as he keeps his focus on the tire. Well, okay. You finally got what you wanted, Chase. Julian's not here.
Yeah,
congrats.
Janice has him stuck.
Your genius scheme. What's that red thing?
I think it's flowers, but it could be blood.
It's a little toy truck.
Sure, whatever you want it to be.
With that, TJ Maxx. With that, TJ and I cross the ditch into the forest, following the little trail that weaves through the trees. As the darkness of the forest engulfs us, I look back at TJ and see him timidly moving along, looking at the trees nervously. I grin. Are you scared? TJ looks over at me with a start. Oh, He lets out a soft laugh. Yeah, maybe a little. I pause, waiting for the lynx to catch up to me. Then I hold out my paw to him. He stares at it for a moment, as if not comprehending what it is. I stubbornly keep it outstretched. No one's gonna see. TJ seems to think for a moment. Then I see the lynx wipe his paw on his pants quickly before reaching out to take mine. I pull TJ along through the forest, glancing up occasionally to see if I can find a patch of sky sufficient enough for the shot I want. Don't worry, man. You know, I saw something in here too. What? TJ's busy looking off into the trees, his ears perked listening. Yep. When I was a kid, I thought I saw a fox hanging from the trees. Oh my gosh, please don't tell me this right now. I frown. Listen. What I realized is that sometimes people hallucinate things. I'd rather just not talk about it right now. All I'm saying is that the stories that Janice told us aren't real. Even if they are, those people hallucinated. That's it. Well, sure, but that doesn't mean I won't still freak out if I see something.
Yeah, you can be as logical as you want, but if you see something really fucking scary, it's not gonna matter.
Also, TJ's seen something.
He's seen something?
Yeah, the lights story.
Oh, yes. I do like that story.
I squeeze the lynx's paw in mine, shaking it around a little. Well, you've got me if that happens.
I mean, I would say normally I'd be like, oh, Chase really isn't intimidating. But he did fuck up Flynn earlier.
Yes.
And I'm a little bit, that's confused
He'll
me.
punch a spider for TJ.
No, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't.
That's the line.
TJ squeezes back. There's a slight resistance in his grasp, though, as if he's trying to pull back from me while at the same time holding on to me. Chase, have you been feeling all right? I feel fine. I stop on the path, looking up at the little patch of dusky sky above me, almost spherical and perfect for the shot I'm going to get. Because you seem a little bit off, especially when we were at the family plex. And I know we've all been a little off since what happened. I mean, I was feeling really, really weird the past few days. I set the bag on the path, unzipping the main compartment and pulling out the camera. Maybe you're feeling the same way I was? I shrug, turning the camera on. I feel fine, Teach. Still, that's not even remotely what it says. TJ suddenly places a paw on my arm, and that gives me pause. Chase? Are you sure? He's looking directly in my eyes, his paw pads warming the fur and skin under them, chasing away that chill of the evening. It's his wide blue eyes that catch my attention, though. They're sincere, kind, and full of love. And then, that's when I realized that what TJ's trying to tell me. After all this time we've spent together over the week, getting to know each other better, talking about our future plans, it's only now that I realize. I stand up straight, facing the Lynx more directly.
What is
a soft smile on my lips.
Doing?
TJ looks up at me, eyes looking over my face, as if searching for something. I lean in and kiss him.
I don't.
Look at how douchey he looks in this picture.
Ew! Don't kiss me.
With him just going in and TJ panicking. That is... I do not think he had a read on this situation.
I think he got that way wrong. I'm cringing.
He has been
so
crushing
hard.
on TJ so hard this entire time and has not been correct.
And look at his face where he just looks like he's so correct about.
Yes.
He's very like sure, and like look at TJ's little hand up, like he's like, oh no,
no. This picture is so tragic.
God, this is. I'm having flashbacks.
Oh
my gosh.
No.
Oh my goodness.
And that goatee.
Tell that boy you don't like him. We all got to do it. We all got to do it, TJ. Tell that boy you don't like him. Do it. Break his heart. Crush him.
This has informed all of your behavior this week, and it wasn't even right.
Oh my gosh. TJ being like, "Are you okay? You're acting funny." That does not mean that he's like enjoying how you've been acting.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he cares so much about me.
Oh my gosh. His sincerity in like love is like friendship, you know? This hurts me so much. I can't even tell you.
It lasts a moment.
Oh God.
Our lips meet, mine on his for the first time. It's a moment of pure bliss.
Oh no.
And I close my eyes to show the Lynx just how passionate I am about it. I feel his lips freeze up against mine. Then suddenly they're gone. I open my eyes in time to see TJ stumbling backwards. One paw flies up to his mouth, and the other stretches out behind himself as if worried he's going to run into the trees. I guess I surprised him.
Yeah.
I smile and follow the cat, reaching out my paws.
No. Run, TJ, run.
You alright?
Are you alright, motherfucker?
As I reach for him, he pushes my paws away.
Oh my gosh.
I frown. What? What was that? TJ's whispering, but it's a loud sort of whisper, almost deafening in the quiet forest. What do you mean? I kissed you, TJ. I love you.
Oh my gosh.
The look of pure shock and horror on TJ's face stuns me.
Oh my gosh.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm dying.
TJ, you're asking really dumb questions right now. You heard me. I feel myself getting a little irritated.
No!
I just bared my soul to him, and now he's acting like I just told him a terrible secret.
You did. You didn't want that.
But, you mean like a friend? No, I mean like a boyfriend. A lover. I reach out again, but this time TJ twists away from me, and then starts to back up. Back the way we came from. I follow him. What? How come? I can see his rapid breathing, his wide eyes, like a cornered animal.
Because he is a cornered animal.
I feel myself getting angrier.
How dare you get angry at him for that?
What do you mean, how come? Do I need to explain it to you?
Oh my gosh, you asshole.
TJ keeps backing up, and I see what looks like fear in his eyes. I don't understand it at all. He starts to turn around, but I grab his arm.
No, that's fucking...
Hey!
Call the police!
You flirt with me all fucking week, and you're asking why? What the fuck are you talking about?
Call the police. TJ, run away.
Chase, let me go. He tries to pull away weakly, but I yank him forward so harsh, his teeth clack together in front of my face. He gasps. You make eyes at me across the table at the diner, while we're doing yard work at Janice's house. And you don't get why?
And you smiled at me that one time? Like, remember, you smiled at me, and it meant so much?
Why the hell am I getting so angry? Let me go! TJ is still whispering, but it's getting louder. So you were just leading me on? I feel my voice break as it rises in volume as well. What is happening? Why am I doing this? Is this a dream? Were you leading me the fuck on, TJ?
Oh my god. My heart.
I see tears brimming in TJ's eyes, and he looks away from me, like a kid that just got caught doing something wrong. Do I need to tell you again? TJ, I fucking love you. I've noticed since I picked you up from the college. Listen to me.
Why
would you know it then?
Makes no sense.
Why would you know it then?
That's weird.
I pull him closer, but as I do, he lashes out. I see a flash of light, and the next thing I know, TJ's escaped my grasp. My paw is still stuck out in the air, and I watch the lynx disappear through the trees. Soon, the sounds of his footsteps fade as well, and I'm left alone in the deathly quiet forest.
Oh my gosh.
I stare for a long time, listening to the nothingness, maybe waiting for TJ to come back, before Julian to come up the path to beat me up.
Julian's not beating you up, bro. Like,
I don't know, he's handy.
Unless he's got that, maybe if he brings the whole jack, like he can just smack you with it.
He's got the jack.
That's a great reference, Keith. I appreciate the AC/DC. That really helped lighten the mood because I'm really angry right now.
We have to be in for another route.
Chase is by far the least likable in this route, which is crazy because he's been so unlikable already. Is this the route where like Chase gets possessed? Like, what the fuck's up?
No, he's been possessed in other routes before.
But he's excessively an asshole on this one. He says mean things about absolutely everyone. And this, you're right, this is the route where he destroys every single relationship he has systematically. And this is the one that he like was really trying to be like, he wanted to keep this one. And boy, he misread this so bad and was such a dick about it. I'm getting pissed.
But nothing happens. I don't know how long I stand there, but when I look up, I see that the sun is finally set. I numbly lift the camera in my other hand, still holding on to it like I was when I kissed TJ. Slowly, I walk over to the bag and kneel down, putting the camera away. That's when I feel the nape of my neck prickle. TJ?
TJ, you came back?
I look back, hopefully, but the path is empty. The forest, though. The trees, and branches and leaves that outline the path, just before it curves out of sight, just 15 feet ahead of me. There's a shape in the trees, the shape of legs, arms, a torso, and maybe a head. The shadowy figure seems to blend into the leaves, almost melting into the twilight. I blink hard, but when I open my eyes, the figure's still there, unmoving, unchanged. That's when I realize that even though I'm holding my breath, I can still hear breathing. It comes from the direction of the shape, even though it doesn't move at all. It looks like a painting. Slowly, I stand up. It doesn't move. I start to walk forward, and that's finally when it changes. It starts to melt back into the trees, but the branches and leaves don't move. It moves through them. Then, as I reach the bend in the path, it fades into nothing. But the breathing continues. I look around, finally, and see that it's gotten dark to the point that I can hardly make anything out. Everything that you see is twisted from what it once was. But what was it? It was something once, just like I was. But nothing here is obligated to make sense to you.
Fair enough.
But what does it want? What does anything here want? The only thing you know for sure is that it's evil. And just like that, I'm running up the rest of the path, feeling as if the branches are clawing at me, trying to pull me back into the forest. And still, the breathing continues just over my shoulder, growing ragged with my own, following me, chasing me. I feel it closing in on me, gasping, taking on a robotic tone as if someone's taking their last breaths through a phone. And I'm the one on the other end listening to it. The crackling breath hisses out, then rises up into a screech of static and noise, and I break through the trees, landing in the ditch, and jamming 2 fingers in the process as I throw my paws out to catch myself.
Ouch.
Should've listened to Janice.
Also, he tripped again, so.
Yes, add that to the counter we don't have.
Ding!
Ding. Should've listened to Janice. Ding.
And also, I think they left him, which is fine with me.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I do wonder what TJ had said. Like, so imagine the scenario. You go into the woods with your friend, and then one of you comes back and just says, "We're leaving the other one." And you're like, "Why? What does TJ say?"
He's gonna walk home.
Okay.
He's taking a hike. Ha.
That's really weird, TJ. Why would Chase do that?
He's got a headache. He's supposed to go through a walk through the spooky woods. He's getting a lot. He's gonna walk home and get footage for his documentary.
Okay, see, maybe that's it. That might be good. I was trying to think.
I'm great at lying as TJ.
I was trying to think, like, because I like to think of all my lies ahead of time.
The woods don't seem that big, and I think they're by Leo's house.
Yeah,
so they're like, he's not nowhere. He's like basically an echo already.
I know, but that would just be a very weird, like,
yeah,
how do you explain this to everyone?
But everyone trusts TJ. He would never lie. Still wondering if he did the scavenger hunt or not. I really thought we would have answers like an hour ago.
Yeah, no, I'm like, are we gonna? Because
What does it mean?
I don't know.